The 3-week journey is finally at its winding point. The big dance for Providence Summons is here. 80 minutes, 2 teams left standing out of the rubble. Before we preview each of the combatants, let's honour those they outlasted on the way. You had bigger problems than officiating to deal with in this game. The refs didn't cause you to constantly keep the Raiders in the game with questionable defending and key errors in key moments. The refs didn't cause every player worth a damn except for Munster, Coates, Asofa Solomona and Grant to cost players Casper the Friendly Ghost. The refs didn't cause you to choke on several second half sets in Canberra's 20. You did this to yourselves. The cold truth? This was your last chance at another ring. 4 important pieces to your core in Brandon Smith, Felice Kafusi and the Bromwich brothers are all departing this offseason. Munster hasn't signed an extension yet and rumours are swirling around his future, particularly with a newly minted Queensland team. Also, I love the irony from Storm fans complaining about quote-unquote unfair officiating when they've been the benefactor of terror-bad officiating for the past half decade. You deserve to be mediocre for a while. Get in line with everyone else, you spoiled idiots. The only explanation I have from this game is that it was on a cocktail of illicit drugs. 7, yes, count it, 7 sin bins in a single game. That's a record for any game, not just a finals matchup. If there's one thing consistent about the Roosters since 2019 is that I've continually seen this goal line defense get worse and worse as the years have gone by. It resembled that of a colander in this game as Trell Mitt ran hog wild. Didn't help that the offense was depleted as well, with Tedesco, Tupou and Taukeaho all leaving due to injury. I'm sorry, but if you can only enter South's 20 once without scoring a try with a 2-man advantage, you don't deserve the win. That wasn't the only thing that pissed me off. It was a guy who fancies himself as a thug in Jared Warrior-Hargreaves. The guy was just blatantly out there to hurt people. It seems that's all he does nowadays. In the past, Jared was one of those players that you'd love if he was on your team and hate as the opponent. But now, the dude's become a liability to the team by giving away stupid and avoidable penalties, one of them leading to a Souths try. Vice captain, eh? Great culture he's enabling, as evidenced by Butcher and Radley starting scuffles for little to no reason. The Rabbitohs earned the right to advance, and now I have zero idea where the club goes from here. You can't bitch at the Raiders this year. A team going from 1-7 to start the year to sneaking in the 8 with a great run of form to end off the year doesn't deserve scorn, especially after taking out the Storm. The Instagram comment sections hoped that you could do it again by upsetting the Eels, but it wasn't meant to be. I was wrong about Ricky. He's shown that he's the right coach for this team and upcoming young core. All of Savage, Chris, Starling and Horsburgh are going to be cornerstones for this franchise in the future. All they can do now is lament and try to bring back Tarpany before he hits the market in 2023. There was something bugging me about the Sharks. Not because they are a bad team that didn't deserve to be here, it just felt like they weren't ready for a legitimate push. 2 heartbreaking losses in the span of 2 weeks. First, there was that extra time Golden Point epic. Despite the defense having more holes than Swiss cheese, Cronulla took the Cowboys all the way. But I think Val Holmes had the final say in that matter. Then came Souths. There wasn't much you could do, Souths just had excellent defensive scheming. This team is close, just keep building and you'll get your time in the sun. A disclaimer, yes, you got shafted by that forward pass no call. Honestly, I initially thought it was backwards, but the NRL admitted the mistake. That is where my disclaimer ends. An 8-point lead, possession, and a set starting at your own 40 with 25 minutes to go should have been the time where you got another try and iced the game. Instead, a bad miscommunication error begat a para set deep in your own half, which begat another soft Regan Campbell-Gillard try near the post. Instead of simply blaming the forward pass and calling it a day, I implore you to look at why and how your defensive scheming decided to shift further out on the wings when Para's backs hadn't done much all night. Twisting the knife. The defensive adjustments didn't even help, as not even 10 minutes later, your left side defense overreacted to Sean Lane, leading to a Sevo try. Just look at this offload count. Your defense was completely flummoxed by Para's speed and offloading, leading to extra meters. With all of these variables, I simply don't understand how you can just blame the refs. Great, more bad officiating to add to your team's incredible victim complex. Keep saying the NRL has a conspiracy against you. It's totally the reason why your defenders parted like the Red Sea whenever Regan Campbell-Gillard so much as breathed in their vicinity, and why Taumalolo decided it would be a good idea for a reckless late shoulder charge on a defenseless Papali'i. I would point and laugh. That's what you're expecting from a rival fan, yes? But I'm not even amused. I'm still shell-shocked as to how the Bunnies blew a 12-point lead. And not just that, they blew it in 5 minutes! This is more than just an injured Alex Johnston and Saliva Havili. This is team-wide choking. The first 34 minutes was all South Sydney. Penrith looked out of sync, undisciplined, and South's forwards were laying the body much more effectively. Repeat set after repeat set. Souths got bailed out by several no-try calls as well. But then 2 quick lucky tries put Penrith right back in it as To'o made it known to the entire world that he owned Cody Walker. Then it's as if the team switched roles in the second half. Penrith looked so much like their usual selves, and Souths became absolutely flaccid as Edwards, Lienu, and Kikau ran all over the place. Trell Mitt, in comparison, failed to make any sort of offensive impact in the second half as Penrith locked him down. The Panthers proceed to score every single try in the second half. The Bunnies players are so elated with this outcome of the Penrith menace lording over them again that they start putting dirty hits on Lienu. Very noble act from Tane Mill to swing his arm at Linu's head, who had just come out of a HIA. The time has come. 8 teams have become just 2. Let's preview each. Oh, we know these guys. 3 straight grand finals. That has been the fruit of this franchise's labor over the past decade of rebuilding and development. This franchise has become the envy of the league, and why not? They boast some of the best talent in the game. Cleary, Luai, To'o, Fisher-Harris, Yo, Kikau, Edwards, Crichton, and Leota. Around them has been a cast of journeyman depth and electrifying youth from the farm system. They turned Scott Sorensen from a guy who had played for 3 previous teams into a key bench piece that alleviated the starters when needed, with starting caliber play. The Panthers farm system has bore some incredible revelations. Taylor May, Spencer Lienu, and Isaac Targor have been excellent pieces throughout this season and in different parts of the finals run. To put how incredible their prospect pool is into perspective, their affiliates have won all of the New South Wales Cup, the Jersey Flegg Cup, and the SG Ball Cup, all flooded with elite prospects waiting in the wings to come up and become key contributors and spark plugs. The Penrith franchise is going through a golden age that has never been seen before in their history, not even back to the days of Pritis, Rooney, Polatua, and Sattler, or even the days of Fittler and Alexander. This is a new era for the Panthers, one that could be further solidified with history, the 3rd team in the modern NRL ARL era to repeat, joining the 1992-93 Broncos and 2018-19 Roosters, with the Souths caught in the maelstrom, although they have one more challenge before they can be etched in folklore. Over the past couple years, the Eels have been known for one thing: underachieving. That sentiment didn't change in the middle of this season. I said as much in my mid-season review. A team who couldn't string together 2 straight victories until July, a team who lost to 2 of the worst teams in the entire league in the Tigers and Bulldogs, and a team who fell to 7th by round 22. But they managed to pull themselves together just at the right time, and were rewarded with a top 4 finish, their first since 2020. With victories over the Raiders and Cowboys in consecutive elimination games, they stand 80 minutes away from their first premiership since 1986, and they have helped to get them there. At the top stands Mitchell Moses. Without his elite play this season, the Eels don't get here. His refined, dynamic skill set of footwork, anticipation, playmaking, kicking, and technique has been the cog to this machine. Dylan Brown from the 5'8" spot has all the same perks. From the fullback spot lies Clint Gutherson, another key part to the Eels' spine. A creative, elusive fullback with speed to match. But what really makes this para offense tick? The speed and offloading ability of its forwards. The 2-headed monster of Regan Campbell-Gillard and Junior Paulo has been a pairing many teams have faltered to this season. Paulo in particular has uncanny speed and creativity out of the number 10 spot with his intelligent offloads. And opposing teams don't get any reprieve when the second row comes to play, an even deeper unit of Sean Lane, Isaiah Papali'i, and Ryan Madison, all with playmaking and strength to provide even more support to their backs. Sean Lane can also drift across the field to play as an extra center. The rest of the backs play off their forwards with earnest and dominance. Micah C though, he's still his wrecking ball try-scoring self, with Wonga Blake's speed just adding to the offense, along with young guns Bailey Simonson and Will Penasini, with Reed Marnie bursting out of the dummy half as the catalyst. This is Para's best chance since that fairy tale 2009 Grand Final run, a Battle of the West Grand Final. What a game this shapes up to be. This game could well go down to the wire. While there's a legit case to be made for this being Para's time, the Panthers just look indomitable and inevitable. Para will take them all the way, but Penrith will win by a lone 1-point field goal. If anything, this game will be very, very entertaining. Let's enjoy it.